Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to Alive and Streaming. I'm your host, Ted, and we got some cool stuff today. But before I bring my guest in, I want to give a shout out to Will Branch from Tascam. I want to thank Tascam for this new mic and this new stand. Hopefully, I look more professional than the one I had, than I've been using the last few times with my Price is Right mic. So this one sounds pretty cool and it looks pretty cool. So thank you, Tascam and Will Branch. My next guest today, guest, plural here. I got the reunited, bonded by blood. I got Alex Lee, Juan, and Jose. So they'll be jumping in right now. If they're jumping in, where are they? There's Jose and there's Alex. Hello, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Thanks for having us on.
No. Thanks for coming on, man. The reunited, bonded by blood. I can't wait to talk about this. Now, I've we were talking earlier. Alex has been on my stream about a year ago. We were talking about the Orion quarantine jam we did, and I've known Juan because we've toured together. I mean, the first time we toured with Bonded by Blood, I guess it was in the winter of 2011. But you had just exit the band.
Yeah, I had just left. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was Morrow that was fronting the band at the time. Now, if you don't mind me asking, Jose, first of all, nice to meet you. I never met you. I met all the
nice
other
to meet you.
dudes. If you don't mind me asking, why did you leave? It was from the Exile album, right after you recorded Exile, right?
Yeah, it was actually a month into its release that I left Bonded. It was one of the hardest decisions I've had to make, especially because this was created between me and Alex. It was like in a way, our baby. And I put my heart and soul into this, you know what I mean? But I come from I'm a first generation Mexican American. My family comes from Mexico. And this was during the time the recession had just hit and they were still hurting from that. I felt, the tour life, you don't get much money. There's no pot of gold at the end of the road. And especially for a band of our caliber at the time, we weren't making much. And I felt so odd and weird to be touring all over the world, and my parents were struggling. So it was kind of like I was forced to leave. I never wanted to leave. It was something that was very, very hard. It was a very, very hard decision, and I had to make it. It was family first. I talked to the guys about it, but at the same time, I didn't want to jeopardize the touring and all that, and made sure to let them know I was going to start any drama or anything like that. But that was my decision at the time.
What did you end up? Were you doing anything musically?
For a while, I didn't. I kind of just got to work. I kind of got my financial and all that stuff together, but I was writing music, as in like lyrics, thinking of ideas of what I kept my brain and my everything ready for music. It wasn't until 6 years later, I think, that I actually got into music again and made a band called Macrocosm with Jerry, which is back in Bonded, and a few other guys from that scene. And that's more of a death thrash kind of thing. And it got me back into extreme music, at least. And then after that, I made this other sort of, during the pandemic, kind of like a studio-ish band where I had a base of musicians and I had guests coming in and out. And that's where I got Alex and Juan to come into a song. I also got other guys from the scene. I got Conan, and I got Balmore that used to be in Ex Mortis, now in Nova Rain. And that band's called Ignoxia. And I feel like that kind of sparks our friendship a little bit, again, between me and Juan and Alex, and started the talks of reunions again. Because, I mean, it was cool to have them jam on one of our songs, and I think we kept in touch a little bit longer after that, and was like, "Whoa, this is cool. This friendship is cool." I remember a lot of memories started coming back about like how we used to be in Bonded and blah blah blah, and so that's really cool.
Gotcha. Hey, I think there's a slight echo on your end.
Oh
And you on
man.
Zoom, if you could turn like the original sound off. Sorry, everyone. I'm just trying to fix these technical difficulties so we can have a good time here.
Let me check really quick.
While you're checking, I think that's a lot better. I think that's a lot better. Now, Alex and Juan, I know Jose, you have a very punk rock background. Alex and Juan, what's your influences? Because you guys sound there's some punk rock in there from Jose, but where will your influences come from as far as music and playing?
Well, for me, a lot of
Step
it's
up to the mic, Juan. Come on, I gotta hear you.
so I listen to a lot of progressive metal. So one of my favorite bands right now is Dream Theater and has been for a while. But one of the bands that I would say that people are gonna be quite surprised about that actually ignited me to want to play guitar is actually Blink 182.
Really?
So, yep. So
What?
I was
What?
listening to a lot of that kind of music at the time, and that's how I started to play guitar. And eventually, like through school, I met this girl that knew Jose, and from them, like I was slowly listening to some metal bands, but like once I joined or started talking to them, that's when I started listening to more metal and playing more of that style and all that stuff.
What
So
is it about
then,
Blink 182 that you like? They have a good drummer though.
yeah, they definitely do. I don't know, it was just catchy and just what I would listen to at the time
So
when I
so
was in middle school.
so did some of those influences of yours creeped into Bonded by Blood? Some Blink
Mm,
182 styles?
not really. But after, well, I would say more because at the time when I was with Bonded, I would listen to a lot of like death metal, like Black Dahlia Murder and stuff like that.
That's what you
So
tried out
yeah, that's
with the Black
actually
Dahlia.
I tried out for when Jose asked me to try out. He actually showed up to my house and he told me to play something, and I played a song called "A Vulgar Picture," and he was like, "Oh, cool, I like that," and that's it.
Alex, I know a little bit more about you, but you could tell everyone in depth because this is a bonded conversation here. So,
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, growing up, it was listening to like classics on the radio, like Guns N' Roses, and uh, I was mainly influenced a lot with mainly like video game music and soundtracks. Obviously, there's a lot of games that have a very like heavy metal influenced soundtrack, for example, like Doom, and the soundtrack incorporated basically ripped off riffs from Pantera, Metallica, Megadeth, Alice in Chains, and everything. So it kind of gave me like the jump start to listening to the real thing. So later on in high school, when I got really into actually guitar, listening to like Ozzy Osbourne, obviously the Big Four, and I had more of like the melodic side in my approach to making music, and mainly that was from most of like the video game soundtracks. You know, are very memorable. So I remember like when Jose and I would join up, it would be very like it almost seemed like the not really like the kill switch engage kind of approach to melodic metal, but it was kind of like in that kind of atmosphere. Um, but then later on, it transitioned into more thrashier and heavier.
stuff.
Yeah,
It's weird. I
what it
mean,
is.
because Jose, you're into punk rock. Then it's what a weird like melting pot. Blink 182 video games and like
Punk rock.
punk rock, man. Then I mean what a combination, especially for guitars. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
that must
With
have been like they must have you guys must have like learned a lot from each other, kind of like learn things because Juan comes from a different background, you come from a different background, then you guys kind of like share different influences together and kind of like, all right, this is what we're doing.
I think that's what made it so special. He like everyone not really having like we're gonna make thrash and that's it. It was we did want to make some sort of like old school sounding metal. That's for sure. What came to be after that was Bonded, and since everyone has that different influence, it made it. I think it made us stand out a little bit more. I brought the punk attitude because I'm into bands like Bad Brains and Black Flag and all these bands that I grew up admiring. And then you have Alex with his, you know, he's into Ozzy, he's doing Randy Rhoads stuff, neoclassical stuff, video game stuff, and it's just adding that little piece of flavor into the music, which made Bonded so special. Then you add Juan, which came from a heavier background by the time we met him, and so he adds that into the rhythms. And I even remember when Juan wasn't. I mean, he's a spectacular lead guitarist now, but I remember when he first started, he didn't have that background, and then he met Alex, and they, all they did was guitar nerd out all the time, and now you have Juan being super fucking, like, if you listen to him, you're like, damn, this guy grew up with the guitar. So it's crazy how we all kind of blended and made Bonded what it is. And the outcome was wonderful. I mean, listening back to like Exiled and Feed the Beast, I'm like, wow, we really like jammed. We really loved what we were doing.
Yeah, I mean, how was that first rehearsal like as Bonded, coming together with all these different styles and going, all right, I got this band, let's get together and jam? And I mean, what was like were you guys happy with like the first song you wrote, or you figure like, okay, we got to keep writing more?
Oh, the first song we wrote, remember, it was about Bruce Lee.
Yeah. That's another thing too. Me and Alex used to watch a lot of like martial arts, kung fu movies, so that's really cool.
Damn, there's so many outside influences. This is awesome, man.
Yeah.
This is awesome, dude. But you guys formed in 05, right? Was it 05?
Yes.
And not that much later, you guys got signed, but you won the Battle of the Bands. I was reading up on you guys. You guys won a Battle of Bands amongst like 250 bands or something.
Yeah.
You used that money, recorded a demo, and put it on MySpace, and it kind of like got a lot of circulation, and Eric came to you.
Yeah, that whole story. It was 2005 we made the band. I think it was me and Alex for like about almost a year, right? Just writing stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't really have an idea of what we wanted to make. I remember he would play a lot of Ozzy back then, a lot of Maiden. So we were kind of making like a heavier, like old school heavy metal kind of music. We tried a few drummers. I think we tried a drummer before Carlos, right? It was the guy that used to be in my punk band.
Yeah.
And he didn't, we kind of like introduced him to the music we were trying to make, and we were like, hey, it's a mix between like this and that. I think we said like Slayer and like all these different type of thrash bands. And I remember him telling us like, I don't want to make devil music or something like that.
Don't want to make devil music.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
I remember started laughing like, okay, well, this is not the guy. And then eventually we met up with Carlos, and he, from what if I remember correctly, he was in a Metallica or Megadeth cover band. Yeah, and so he was up for the task, and so that kind of got our bass going, and then we ended up meeting Ruben. Which, shout out to Ruben if he's listening. He's the original bass player for Feed the Beast. He actually reached out to us, and he's so happy to listen and happy that we're active again. Wants to hear some new music from us. So shout out to him if he's listening. Anyway, so we met him, and he was all into different things. He was like into Primus and different type of bass, Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, he was all really into like the bass stuff, and so he added that into Bonded as well. So we did that. We practiced for a while. We never really had like a focus on what we really wanted to make. I don't think, at least at that time. And then for whatever reason, I don't remember how we signed up for the Battle of the Bands. Do you remember, Alex?
I think I felt like you were looking around for just shows or whatever, because we were playing a lot of backyard shows at the time.
Yeah.
And I think you stumbled upon it in Riverside.
Yeah.
And we all decided, hey, let's give it a shot. I mean,
Oh yeah, and we didn't think we were going to win at all. Like I think we didn't even have like complete songs at points. You know what I mean? Like I feel like some of them we were making up on the spot. It was crazy. And at this time we didn't really have like a set style. But we went in there, we gave it a heart and soul and everything, and we ended up winning. It was so crazy to think about that. And I feel like after we won, that's when we became serious, right? When we're like, okay, let's really like, not that we weren't serious before, but it was more of a kind of like a, you guys are pretty good. If you guys put a little bit more effort, you'll be even better. And so we did. And we were kids. So I remember this was our first studio experience. And it was at this place called Love Jews in Riverside. I don't know if they're still around, but at the time, a lot of bands were going there, mostly like pop punk and and indie bands were going there. So we were some of the first metal bands going there. After us, a lot of other bands started going there, Hexen and from the scene, Fueled by Fire, I believe, et cetera, et cetera. But we went there and I didn't know what to expect. We never really recorded anything like that in that type of setting. But we did the 4 Pints of Blood demo. The style is a completely different to, for example, even Feed the Beast or Exiled. It was a little bit more melodic, I feel, compared to the thrashier, heavier, faster stuff. And we put it out there on MySpace, and people just started like spraying it around to the point where, yeah, Eric did contact us, and it contacted us through MySpace, which at first I thought was fake. I thought some guy was messing around with us, being like, "Hey, I'm this guy from Eric," because he had no friends, no nothing. I'm like, this guy's trolling us. There's no way Eric is contacting us through MySpace with no friends, letting us know that he really likes our music. And I was like, I think I said something like I told the guys or something, but then I kind of trolled him back saying like, yeah, right, blah, 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 whatever. And then he sends me an official email from the Eric email. And I was like, oh, shoot, the guy was being for real. And he was interested. And at this time, it was during the whole thrash revival boom around 2005, 2006, 2007. You know, there was bands like Fueled by Fire, just Warbringer, Hex, and Rattle, a bunch of bands from the LA area that were having this thrash resurgence in our area. And we didn't know about it in the beginning. We didn't know we were going to be part of this whole movement, if you want to call it that. And it worked out though. Every band was getting signed. Fueled by Fire got signed by Metal Blade. Warbringer got signed by Century Media. It was just during that time, and we got signed by Eric, and the things started moving fast right after that. It was just like, okay, hey, you're signed. They're based in London, so they were like, hey, we're gonna fly you out to London, do some interviews, blah blah blah. Things were moving way too fast. It felt like we went from playing a backyard show to all of a sudden, here you go, we're touring the world. It was mind blowing.
And I mean, that must have been a whirlwind that happened so fast. I mean, were you guys jumping up and down when, oh, hey man, Eric wants to sign us? I mean, that must be a great feeling being a young band like that. And, because everyone has dreams of getting signed and going on the road. And sometimes bands, it takes a long time for them to get signed, but you guys were signed in like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how did that feel?
For me specifically, I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, Alex, but I remember telling you guys like, dude, we're pretty good. I bet you we're going to get signed. And I don't know if you remember that, but I remember telling you guys that in the garage. And I kind of just, pushed for it. I didn't know that was going to happen. I guess spoke it into existence, but I was happy. I was like, well, first of all, Eric being the legendary label that they were, they specialized in grind and death metal, which is stuff that I was into. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like the band that I'm a big Terrorizer fan. So I was like, whoa, the band that did Terrorizer, the label that did Terrorizer and all this. So I was ecstatic. I was happy. We were all very, very, very young at the time too. I think, were you still in high school, Juan?
Yep.
Yeah, see, he's still in high school. I was the oldest. I think Alex.
I was like 16 at the
Yeah,
time.
I think.
Yeah, I was out of high school.
Alex just graduated high school, so we were young. Obviously, like, so like, oh my god, like, what are we gonna? We're gonna tour the world. We're gonna be like Metallica. It was it was crazy to think about it. So I was feeling really, really happy. Like, I come from a background where my dad was in a band and my grandpa was in a band. So this was like, oh, this is so cool. We're keeping that legacy moving forward or whatever it may be. And I know the guys were excited as well. How did you guys feel?
It was weird because obviously I've always come from like a sheltered background where I would always just like right after school go straight home and play guitar or play video games, occasionally go skate, but it was I never really like looked into like the like bands like discographies and tour lifestyles. So to me, I didn't really know what the whole touring aspect was, other than like being based off of like movies I seen, where it's just over the top. But it was such a surreal moment where it just didn't like click because I've never traveled before, even outside of like California or anything like that. So it was really weird thinking like, okay, well, you're gonna go on tour, with the band and go to all these different states. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm pretty sure my mom's gonna call me like every moment that every stop, every gas station stop, like, where are you at? So it was very like, oh man, it's like really weird, like being outside of my house, because yeah, it was such a weird moment, but it was also exciting because it's something that I think it all started when the Battle of the Bands happened, and we competed with over 250 bands, and coming up first, it's like how does that happen? I felt like I never win anything, so it was very like holy crap, we might have something here, and then obviously practicing and going through, and then it's like we're signed, like what the heck's happening? So yeah, I just remember feeling like almost like a fairy tale, kind of like this isn't happening for real. Nah, this isn't happening until I see the contract, and then once the contract came, it's like, okay, this is real.
For me, it
Y-
was pretty surreal. I mean, because I grew up listening to Blink 182, and when I actually started playing guitar, I always had the dream of playing shows and looking up to like Tom or whatever. So when I actually got to this point, I never imagined that I'd actually be able to actually do what I had a dream to do, and to me that was quite exciting. So
I bet, man. I could just picture it being that young and just getting signed, and all of a sudden things are moving fast. It could be pretty overwhelming. And Alex, you
yeah,
mentioned
definitely.
you're always sheltered. No wonder you're goddamn good on that guitar, man. You just go into your room, lock yourself. Hey, man, I'm gonna fucking play some fucking modes and scales until my fingers fall off, and it shows, bro. It
Yeah.
shows. Now, you guys recorded your first album, and what was your first tour?
What was our first tour? Oh,
It's
I
like
think
the
we did.
West Coast,
Yeah,
Midwest
we did Thrashing Like a Maniac tour
with
with
Merciless Death.
Mrs. Death, Fueled by Fire. Um, no, Fueled by Fire wasn't in it, right?
Fuel About Fire was in Europe,
Yeah,
but our first one was Merciless Death. I mean, the furthest we went to was Texas,
yeah.
and that was just like a soft tour. It was like what, 2 weeks or so,
Yes, yes.
and
I remember now. Yeah.
after that we went straight to Europe with Gamma Bomb and Sworn to Monks, and that was like
Oh
what,
yeah,
two
and that was the
months.
That was a long tour.
yeah very
But
long
that's when it
tour. We were
really
stuck in a
felt like,
bus. Yeah.
Yep.
How long a
yeah,
tour was that? And you guys were sharing a bus?
Yeah.
yeah, with
Wow, sharing
two
a
other
bus.
bands.
Ooh, yeah, we shared a bus, man, with two other bands one time. It was like 22 people on one bus, and it was like, I don't want to do that again, man. But you got to do it sometimes to save the cost. You know what I mean? You got to do it to save the cost. Quickly, before I get into it, I'm pretty sure you guys got a lot of slack for this, and the name Bonded by Blood. Let's talk about that. But it fits, man. It fits. I mean, at first I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" But it just went by my head. Why did you guys decide to call it Bonded by Blood? Of course, from the probably one of the best thrash albums of all time.
You know what? That's mainly my fault. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's cool because like Jose brought it up because he was listening to Exodus. I mean, Jose brought up a lot of new bands to me personally too, especially like he introduced like Lamb of God, Exodus, and it came into like the whole the naming of the band because he noticed like like Metallica, Overkill, and all these other bands, got their names from an influence from like another band, from a generation ago or whatever, and he kind of played on that idea
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
with the current name.
Yeah, and not just that. I kind of caught on the whole thrash resurgence thing, so I was like, this is kind of cool. We didn't think it was gonna get as big as we got. It was just kind of like, this is cool. We're doing the bonded thing. It kind of fits with what we're doing. And Exodus was actually my introduction to like thrash. Um, as I said before, I was doing a lot of punk stuff. I was in punk bands, and all of a sudden, I listened to Exodus, and I'm like, "Whoa, this is aggressive. This is cool." And it was the Bonded by Blood record, and I was just like, "Let's do Bonded by Blood. What do you guys think?" And everybody's like, "Okay, let's do it." And it worked out. We did get some slack, but a lot of people actually dig it, which is cool. Even Gary Holt himself, he gave the thumbs up of approval. I remember playing the whiskey with him the first time we opened up for Bonded, And I remember him looking up at the marquee, being like, and I was next to him, and I mean, I didn't know him at the time, and he was like, "Who the hell is Bonded by Blood? Like, why are they opening up for us?" And a lot of people would think, especially in the early days, that we were like a Exodus cover band or something like that. But he, after a while, and after we did a few tours with Exodus as well, they gave the stamp of approval. He always thought it was really cool. I think there's a few interviews where they ask him about us, and he always like answers with a smile and happy about it, saying that that's cool, that he never thought like years after there would be a band that would name themselves after such an iconic thrash album that he was part of.
Yeah, I mean, in the early days in the 80s, I think if memory serves me correctly, Exodus used to go under a different name when they played shows, and they would call themselves Bonded by Blood. So it's a trip.
That's really
You know what I
cool.
mean? I'm like, whoa, man. If I can remember, like in the 80s, like when they were getting big and they would like, let's do like a secret show. Metallica did that. They went under Four Horsemen.
Oh,
And
cool.
I think Exodus did Bonded by Blood and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think it's cool. It fits. I mean, then you have Merciless Death, which they took it from
Yeah.
Dark Angel.
Dark
Am
Angel.
I correct?
Yeah.
And I think Fueled by Fire was taken from some other band or something. I don't know. But there was a lot of LA bands. I just know you guys and Merciless Death did
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I'm glad. I mean, how does it feel to? I mean, the band went on hiatus, and Juan and Carlos was the only one left. Alex went to join Holy Grail. Jose, you left for personal financial reasons, and Jerry left. Now, what sparked this reunion? What made you guys go, oh man? Was it something you missed? Like, I missed playing shows live. I missed the guys. I missed the music. What was the cause to get the band back together?
I would say it initially started when Jose reached out to Juan and I about doing the Agnoxia project. I've always kept in close contact with Juan and Carlos. Also, even though I left the for Holy Grail, we literally lived like next to neighboring cities. So anytime like they had hangouts and parties and birthday parties and everything, I'd always go over and hang out with them and like, hey, how's it going? How's the tours going? How's the new dude? And so forth. So I was always in close contact with Juan, but then I think with the whole resurgence of the original lineups for this whole Bonded by Blood revival, I think it definitely sparked when Jose reached out to us because we weren't really sure what exactly he was doing at the time. So it definitely sparked up like, man, dude, it'd be great to play the tunes again, and let's see where it goes. So it was really cool for him to reach out to us.
Yeah, for me it was I didn't know we were gonna do it was somewhat spontaneous, the whole bonded thing, because we had tried it before and it just didn't work out or it didn't go nowhere. There was always some sort of roadblock that we didn't make it happen. But since I had this new, like I said, studio type of band where I just wanted to release metal with a bunch of my friends from the scene, and the good idea the idea that I had was, let's bring in Juan and Alex. That'd be cool, like a little mini reunion on a song, which I guess sparked more of an interest of like, man, this song's really cool. I'd want to I'd want to play like some bonded stuff again. You know what I mean? Anytime I would post a picture of my dog or my mom, someone would be like, "Hey, you guys should bring bonded back." Blah blah blah. So, um, um, did I lose you guys? I feel like everything froze.
There we go.
Oh, here we
You're
are.
back.
Sorry. Sorry.
Playing video games, bro? Are you playing video games, man? Are you reading do you have your hey, correct me if I'm wrong, do you have your Silver Surfer #1 comic book on the
Oh,
right
I
right
love
there?
that.
Is that why you're freezing? Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Where did I leave off? Yeah, Agnoxia. So that's what sparked everything for me, at least to reach out to them about that. And every time I post a picture of my mom or my dog or something, am I freezing again?
No.
Yeah, I'm
You're
good.
good.
Okay. Every time I post a picture of my mom or my dog or something, someone always saying, "Hey, bring back Bonded by Blood. Do something like this." Blah blah blah. So I was just like, "Oh my god!" And I know Alex gets it the same, like when he does his Twitch streams and stuff like that, like play some Bonded. Blah blah blah. So it just kind of made everything. It did make me miss it a little bit. I asked the guys, "What you guys think of doing this again?" And everybody was up for it. Like, we're like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." So that's kind of how it all came to be. Like a big mutual decision of, yeah, let's try to do it. I mean, why not? It was just the perfect time. I'm back in music. I've practiced with these new bands that I've been doing. I'm doing vocals. Juan, when I reached out to him to do Ignoxia, I don't think he had played guitar in a while, right, Juan? I don't know how long you had not been playing guitar.
Well, actually, when you reached out to me, that was actually around the time when I had started to resume to play guitar.
Yeah.
And I had invested a little bit in like a studio home setup and all that stuff. But prior to that, I was actually not really playing guitar for a while because I was focusing more on work, personal financial issues, and stuff like that. But like after a while, around when Jose reached out to me, that's basically when I started resuming my activity with, and that's when I was like, this sounds like a pretty good idea, and I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Things happen for a reason, and for that, it's going to segue to a video question from Dawn from Whittier. So here we go, gentlemen.
Hey, this is a question for the dudes in Bonded. So 10 years ago, you guys toured with Death Angel. Can you talk a little bit about where you're at musically nowadays compared to where you were maybe 10 years ago, or even when you guys were first starting up? So, you know, kind of where you were at back then, kind of where you're at now, what your musical space is in, your current influences, kind of what you hope the new Bonded will be like, and when you're gonna play at the Riff House with Papa Mortis and I.
Yeah. Dawn from Whittier, thank you for that question for these guys. Feel free to answer, gentlemen.
Oh man, I don't think you even thought about new music at this point. I think it's been mainly just dusting the cobwebs off of our guitars and just trying to relearn all of the songs from the two albums that we all collaborated in. I think musically going forward, we'd probably like to continue basically where we left off. It's been how long since the last album that you did?
Been quite a few years.
Yeah. So I don't even know if the Riff House is still a thing.
I wouldn't know what that is. Is that in LA? Is that in LA? Southern Cal?
Fullerton.
Okay.
It's in Fullerton.
Okay. So basically, now that you guys are back together, I think the goal is, it seems like from the vibe I'm getting from you guys, is you're going to play some of these old songs, get familiar with it again, get your feet wet, play some shows. You take step by step, right? See how it goes. Because sometimes, I mean, you guys are usually, you hear the stories, the band gets back together, they're getting along, okay, cool, we're hanging out, play some tunes, blah, 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 and play some shows, and maybe sometimes old habits come back, sometimes they don't, but you guys are just going to go out there. And you guys plan to do any sort of touring? I mean, I know new music is not on the horizon yet, but I mean, getting your feet wet, playing a few shows is good, but are you going to go like hit the road, plan to hit the road and go, let's do this real quick?
I mean, we haven't even thought that far, I don't think. Would I want to do like a whole like 6-7 month tour again? Probably not. Just because we're older now. Not that we're super old, but we're older, and we have like things here at home. Would we want to do like bigger shows here and there, or maybe do some festivals or something like that? Yeah, definitely. That'd be so cool to do. And as far as answering Don's question as well, for me personally, like 10 years ago when Exiled came out, or 11 years ago now, we were doing something completely different than Feed the Beast. Where I'm at now, I feel musically, lyrically, vocally, I'm a lot more mature. Does it mean that I want to change the sound of Bonded if we move forward musically? No, I kind of want to move forward from where we left off from Exiled and get a little bit of spices of Feed the Beast in there, more aggression, more kind of like continue that style of where Bonded was, because that was 11 years ago. So, try to bring that vibe of Bonded back. So that's where I'm at musically with this, moving forward. That's how I would like to continue. I know we've talked briefly about it with the guys, never really sat down and like talked about music, but we have talked about it maybe in the future, doing something crazy, and also talking about like kind of giving that Feed the Beast Exiled mixed to kind of move forward.
I mean, it's been, like you said, it's been 11 years since you guys jammed together, you three? and whatnot with
Yeah,
Jerry.
yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty long time. I'm sure you guys have grown a lot as not only as musicians but as humans, and I bet you there's a lot of things that happen within that 11-year time where you could probably bring to the table, which is I think kind of pretty special, kind of exciting at the same time, you know. So, but you guys said you had your first rehearsal
Yes.
last night as a band, right? How did that go?
hmm
It was
That to me
we
was
made
a lot better than I expected.
yeah,
Definitely.
it was kind of weird. I mean, like we used to always practice in Juan's garage in like this big open environment and everything's ringing. But for
Really hot environment.
yeah, it's super hot. But then like we're in there like lockout and it's like well insulated, soundproofed, and it just had more of that kind of vibe. You know, we can see where everyone's grown up. You know, they got like their whole like professional setups and their rooms, and so it just it was really cool. It's like the next step up kind of thing.
What was the first song you guys played?
Mortal
What
Life.
did we do? Immortal Life, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Was there any fuck ups?
No, it was just we noticed it was a little bit slower than what we usually were used to. So we made notes to all the songs that we practice what to change tempo wise because our our current new drummer right now, Steven, he's going through in ears with a click track. So we made some pre-made click tracks to what we felt was pretty decent as far as tempo goes, and so we got to make a few adjustments. Some were slower, some were a little faster. So it's just it's kind of cool. Like we noticed these things like instantly as soon as we went through the the first batch of songs.
That's awesome, man. And you know what? I'm gonna play before I play this live video of you guys to the world. It's live at Reggie's, Mind Pollution. I was checking it out. And Jose, you have a really unique style of voice. It really reminds me a little bit of Sean Killian from Violence. Are you freezing up, man? Are you watching? Are you looking at the Silver Surfer cart magazine, bro? Is that why you're freezing up?
Know what's going on. It's my Riverside connection here.
Gotcha. But I was saying earlier, I
hear me now?
mean, you have a pretty unique voice. It kind of has that vibe of Sean Killian from Violence.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that, and he is a big influence, especially when I started doing. I think it started mostly in Feed the first album, where I started listening to a lot more Violence. I kind of gave it my own twist. I feel like I'm a mix between him and like Bobby Blitz and Metro here and there. So yeah, but he is a big influence. I even went to go see like their reunion shows. I'm a big Violence fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Violence fan too. So I'm going to play this video live at Reggie's. I think Mind Pollution.
Yeah, Chicago.
Chicago. I you know what? I don't like that place whatsoever, but the crowds are good. So let's watch a little Mind Pollution here from. I hope my sound works. Let me see if this does it. Look at that. You know what? Oh, wait, there it is. guys are insane, man. That's a good live take, though, man. That's a really good live
Yeah.
take. You guys are going crazy.
That's
man.
actually one of my favorite like live footage.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. When I text Alex yesterday, I want to play some stuff. He goes, "Oh, check out the live stuff." I'm like, "All right," and it's nice and raw. I dig it, man. First of all, before we go on, I want to give a shout out to all the people who are commenting on our Facebook page. People from Wales, people from England, people from around the world, people from Mid America, everywhere. So just to let you know, people are listening to you guys. So that's cool. And I just want to shout out to Kathleen McCarthy. She said Alex is a genius on guitar. Tell us something we don't know, Kathleen. Tell us something we don't know.
Well,
Oh, but that was a good. Do you guys remember that show at Reggie's? Oh no, here he is.
look, it
It's-
hasn't changed in like 11 years. Same
Oh,
pickups and
guitar.
everything.
That's the guitar
There
that's
it is.
used in the video. Do you guys remember that show? Who are you guys on tour with at that one?
That was
On-
the Exodus tour.
Wow.
So
Is it
right
you
after
guys,
that was the
Exodus, and who
Exodus tour.
else?
Malevolent
you-
I think
Creation.
Malevolent Creation. Yeah.
Wow, man, that must have been a ripping tour, dude.
It was awesome.
That was
I mean, the
fun.
crowds were insane almost everywhere we went. It was a good show. It was a good tour, especially East Coast, West Coast. Those shows were insane.
New York, I heard, was killer for you guys.
Oh, New York was amazing. What did we play? The Gramercy Theater? What was it called? Gramercy Theater? I don't remember how. I don't know how to pronounce
Gramercy?
it. Yeah, there you go. That was
Yeah.
insane. People kept like, remember they wanted more. They're like, we stopped and
Yeah.
like we had to stop because we only had a certain amount of time, and people were like screaming like Bond. I remember that, and I was just like,
Yeah.
wow. It was a good show. New York was crazy.
Now, is there any? I'm gonna go off topic here. You guys played Europe. You guys played the States and Canada, I believe. Is there other places you would like to go that you've been getting like emails or mail from?
Yeah, me personally, South America, Mexico again, just because of our roots and besides Alex, but he's an honorary Mexican, so he's fine. He and just to play live to my people, I guess in a way, and talk Spanish and shoot the shit in Spanish and just a lot of people always ask us, me and I know the guys Juan gets it a lot and Jerry and them to go play South America, and I think that would be a really cool thing to do.
You guys?
Yeah. As you know, with my whole thing with Shred Talk and Conan, we love food, so it's almost like food's the more primary thing. But I'd love to go back to Japan. You know, just eat a ton of ramen and sushi, and then play shows.
Japan is another one for me as well. I would love to go out there.
Yeah, Japan is it's a great country, man. It's a trip. I love it out there, man. And I did have ramen, and it's really good, man. And you mentioned South America. South America's got some raging fans, dude. I mean, we haven't done Death Angel haven't done a proper South American tour since October 2010. That's the last time we've we've been to Colombia a couple times, but a proper tour of South America was October 2010 when Relentless first came out. That was the first stop of that tour, of that album cycle. And man, it's the fans were crazy, but the traveling was hard, man. You had to fly every night. We were out there for like almost 3 weeks, and every night we had to fly. And one thing about South America is the shows go on late. So you'd go on if you were headlining, you'd go on at midnight. Death Angel at the time, we were like, hey, let's play 2.5 hours. We're like, ah. So we played 2.5 hours. We go back, after the show, we're done at like 2:30. Come 3 o'clock, we're chilling. All right, we got to get to the hotel. We get to the hotel around like 4, and they're like, okay, lobby calls at 5:30. Got to fly to the next city or to the next country. So that's happening, but it was worth it for the fans. Are awesome. Yeah, I mean, they're killer out there. So I do hope you guys go out there. It'd be great. And favorite place to play in Europe?
For me, this is hard because there's a lot of really good places.
There is, huh?
There's a lot of good places.
I'll say Barcelona. That was
Barcelona's awesome. Yeah, I'll say Barcelona as well. And the last time I was there, I think I did, besides our songs, I did them in English, but I did the whole set in Spanish, which is really cool. Like I talked in between everything in Spanish. Everybody dig that. That was cool.
That's probably why you guys are so huge in Spain, huh?
I love Barcelona. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Oh, I'm glad you guys are back together. And speaking of South American, Spanish, and whatnot, there's a video question from Gustavo from Bolivia. Let's do this here. Look at his smile.
Hello guys, my question here is if you're going to release some remastered versions of your previous albums. If so, when is going to be the date? Thanks in advance. Cheers and love for my buddies in Bonded by Blood and Death Angel.
Gustavo from Bolivia.
Nice. What was the
That's
question?
cool.
I didn't understand.
It's a-
Remastered.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
remastered.
re-recording, maybe even.
Oh, I don't know. I think Eric still owns the rights to those albums, so that's probably be a very long time. We might do a few, or we are doing a few playthroughs of some of those songs, so you might hear some new mixes on those songs soon. But
Yeah.
for a whole album remaster, I don't know. Eric's probably gonna re-release them now because we're back.
Are you guys still signed? I mean, are you guys still with Eric technically?
I don't think so. I think that contract is
What's
no.
the status? Yeah.
No.
Juan probably knows. He's been quiet lately. You got to watch out for those quiet dudes. He knows. You gotta watch out. He probably knows all that kung fu stuff. He'll come out and slice you and shit like that. Come on, Juan, step up to the mic, speak. You're on the show.
Well, we're no longer. I would say that's not like contract is no longer valid, from what I understand. But I mean, yeah.
All right. There you go,
what I would
ladies
say.
and gentlemen. Hey, Juan, you just need to chill out on talking a lot here. You're just like
Yeah, I'm talking
over
too much,
talking
my
everyone
bad.
here, man. Come on. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, you guys are back together. I'm glad it feels good. I mean, Jose, you seem like in good spirits from
Yeah.
because I've been like, I've read up on stuff on you. So I'm glad you guys are back together. I can't wait to see you guys play if you ever come up here or if things start rolling, yada yada yada. But let me talk about something outside of music real quick. One, I had Alex on the show about a year ago, and I showed a video of him doing yo-yo, and he's like an insane professional yo-yo dude. That's his thing outside of music and refretting guitars and whatnot. Juan, you're big into gaming and PCs. I mean, I follow you on Instagram. You have this whole like Star Trek, like Millennium Falcon setup in your house. I mean, is that something that you like doing other than playing guitars, just like getting online and playing games and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I like to play a lot of games, and I think I would say I probably tinker with my computers more than actually playing games because I'm constantly changing the hardware and just doing all kinds of stuff. I just love playing with like just taking them apart, putting them back together, and all that stuff. That's why you always see pictures of my builds and all. When I do have time, then I like to play games, but I
So,
don't really stream much.
oh, so you're one of those like those dudes who build muscle cars. They just keep tinkering and tinkering. That's what you do with your PCs and all that. Like once you feel like you got, man, this thing is running good, and you're like, nah, man, I gotta mod it some more. You just right? You're one of those.
I actually got some parts just this weekend, so tomorrow I'm gonna be doing some modifications to both PCs.
It's never ending. Watch, you're gonna get that one PC that's like dialed in. You're gonna, no, man, it needs more. It needs more RAM. It needs more
Exactly.
drive. What can I do to get it faster? And I don't like this screen no more. I need a new display. You're gonna,
Oh, this fan is not the correct color or something.
yeah, something like that. Jose, you're a big comic book fan, from what I've heard
Yeah.
and read.
I am. I actually have a big collection. I wish I was in that room instead of this room. Yeah, it started off in elementary school. I actually won a comic. I won. I'm a big Silver Surfer fan, but the thing that got me started was Spider-Man. I got a Spider-Man #1 first edition from my teacher at the time. We all had to do like he had like this contest where if you do your homework or something of that thing, like do your homework straight, and so whatever you get straight A's, you'll get this comic book. And he had a first edition Spider-Man #1, and I was like, whoa, that got me. I was in 3rd grade, and that got me into collecting comic books. After that, I got really, really into Silver Surfer. I have, I think, almost every Silver Surfer comic book edition, even the bad ones, because I have to show love to my space buddy. Yeah, so I'm a big Silver Surfer fan. That's my I'm glad that, watching the movies and stuff, I'm glad that Disney bought off Fox so we can get a proper Silver Surfer movie in the future.
Dude, Spider-Man first edition #1, what's that worth?
Mine's actually graded 8.9, I believe. So it depends. You could put it on auction and it could go up to $1 million maybe. So I have never put it on auction.
You still have it? Are you waiting? Are you waiting? Is that what you're doing? Are you? I mean, if it got, let me ask you something on the comic book thing. If your comic books, what is that your most prized possession right now?
Yeah, actually, it's the one that's worth the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it in a safe deposit box somewhere, like in a
Actually,
bank?
no. I have it in my. I have a whole room full of comic books. That one's actually in like a locked case.
Okay.
Temperature, everything is good to go. It's like
Well,
my showpiece in my comic book room.
would you ever get rid of it if the time's right?
People ask me that question all the time. It's gotten a lot more pricey due to Marvel being very, very popular at the moment. Because I remember the last time I checked before last year, it wasn't worth as much as it is now. Would I get rid of it? It's something that I battle in my head all the time because something I've had since I was a kid, and to just let it go, I feel like I would feel so bad. I mean, my pockets would feel really good, but my heart wouldn't. And I think like later on in life, I'd be like, fuck, I should have never sold that. So that happened with I had like this Hulk action figure from the 80s, all in its package still. And I ended up selling it. Not that it wasn't worth that much, but I can't find it anymore. And I just feel like fuck. And this is something that like I sold for like $100. So if I sold something for $1 million, maybe it'll make my heart feel all right.
And that's awesome.
I wouldn't think about it too
You
much.
would totally get along with our drummer Will Carroll. He's a comic book fanatic, and
Nice.
he would, you guys would probably geek out, like I would probably geek out with Juan about, building things, because I like to. I'm a big electronics fan. I like to build racks, especially musical gear. I like to know. I'm not a big guitar fan, really. Like, how people collect guitars. Or this is a '58 Les Paul, and that's cool. But
That's
I'm more
Alex.
like, yeah, I'm more like amps. How does these amps work? And if you combine them with this rack, I'm just into that stuff. You know what I mean? So I have a feeling you would geek out with Will Carroll. He would just. I'm gonna actually call him today. I'm gonna say, dude, the dude from Bottom by Blood got the first edition Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah.
Dang, dude. I'm like, let's go to LA and jump him.
I'll give you his
Jump him,
address too.
dude. Let's jump him. But Alex, you got it. I know you're yo-yo, as I mentioned, but you got into fixing guitars now. You're fixing guitars.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened was essentially I couldn't get a lot of my guitars fixed and set up with Ibanez because obviously with the pandemic and even a few years prior to the whole pandemic, it's just like they have to take care of their like their A tier list artists,
Yeah.
essentially, like Steve Vai, Satriani, and everybody. So
Paul Gilbert.
I'll make sure that they take care of mine before his. No.
Yeah.
So it's just like rather than like waiting for the turnaround, I'd figure because I've always been like a tinkerer as well. I mean, my dad taught me how to do like simple plumbing, repairs and electronic repairs around the houses. Growing up, instead of Saturday morning in cartoons, I'd wake up to, okay, this is how you use a weed whacker. And you put the gasoline in the different oil. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like,
That's
so...
funny you mentioned that, because right after the stream, I got to go do some weed whacking and stuff. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was wrong. I had to fix 2 fill valves in my toilets. Although I had to go to Home Depot.
Man.
But you know what? You feel satisfied doing that stuff.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
You don't
So
have to rely on someone else. So that was the thing. It was just like, okay, if my guitars break down and there's no one around, it sucks. I mean, if you don't have most of the times on tour, for us, we didn't have like our own roadies,
yeah.
and we don't have our own guitar techs, and so I just basically I'm so into like the whole guitar universe where I want to figure out how to install my own pickups and bridges, and it came to frets because it was like with stainless steel being like the next gen thing for guitars, it's like it's almost like a set and forget it. You don't have to worry about the fret life wearing down, and replacing it and polishing it and everything. It's almost like once you have it installed in your guitar, you don't have to worry about the maintenance ever again. It seems like. So I got into doing that, and a lot of times where if you wanted to get the job done, it costs a couple $100 just to get like a full refret of like stainless steel frets. So it's just like, how hard can it be?
And you
So
did it.
that's-
I
that-
mean,
that was-
I've seen you do it. I'm like, damn, this dude's going all out. And plus, I talked to Conan. Conan goes, yeah, he works on my guitars. I go, good for you, dude. Put that guy to work. Pay him. Pay the man his money so he can go get some ramen. All right, guys, we're coming to a close here. And Alex, a lot of things changed since the last time you've been on. I asked my guests 12 questions, and it's called the Dirty Dozen. And you guys I'm going to fire away, and you guys got to answer it. And I might throw a bonus one at the end if I'm feeling happy.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Mild or spicy?
Spicy.
Spicy for all three of you.
Yeah, we're Mexican and he's Asian.
They converted me.
Oh no, man, I don't deal with spicy, man. Okay, dogs or cats?
Both, mostly dogs, I guess.
Cats.
Okay. A movie you could watch over and over again.
Enter the Dragon.
Good one.
They're stellar.
Oh, that's a good one too, man.
I guess I'm gonna go.
You got to beat them, bro.
Back to the Future.
Dude, someone said, you know who said Back to the Future? It was Luana from Crypto, I think. I had her on the show. She said,
nice.
I think she said Back to the Future. I believe so. Whoa, what a trip. What's your biggest pet peeve? You can throw your boys under the bus. It's okay.
Man. Alex, just in general. Not I think people that drive very, very slow, like below the speed limit. That's my pet peeve. I'm like, man, hurry up. I don't know. It irks me a little bit.
Actually, I agree with Jose too.
Alex.
Yeah, being late.
Being late?
Anything. Yeah.
Thank you.
Events, your work, deadlines, just stay on time.
Yeah, that's right. I'm my biggest pet peeve is tardiness. I'm not into that, man. What time does your alarm clock go off in the morning?
For me,
Really,
it's
9 o'clock.
9
For me,
o'clock.
it's 6:30 every morning.
Okay.
Same for you. 6:30.
6:30. Good. Early birds. I like it.
Mhm.
I like it. Here's one. A song you love to sing when you're all alone.
Oh. I'm a big soul and R&B guy. Like I love to. I mean, I can't sing it, but I professionally. But I love a lot of Marvin Gaye. So most Marvin Gaye stuff.
Cool. Well, you got to pick a song, bro. You can't
One
just say
song.
Marvin Gaye. You got to pick a song, man.
Well, I'm gonna change it to Al Green. Love and Happiness.
All right. Look, I got these two all thinking hella hard
I was
right
like
now.
the Journey Separate Ways.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Come on, Juan. Juan.
Blink 182.
Dream Theater, Constant Motion.
Okay, he picked Dream Theater. There you go. What's your dream vacation?
Japan. That'd be awesome. Tokyo.
All right.
Japan too.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to.
Look at that. Woo!
Take
I hope
Japan.
you guys get out there, man. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. One thing about you that annoys others.
Probably my yo-yoing.
Not me, bro, but I could see that.
I wouldn't know everything about me annoys people.
There's always something about
It's either
somebody.
you like me or you don't.
You playing
not
loud
sure.
music, I guess.
Oh, people playing loud music.
Or me playing loud music.
Oh, you okay? Come on, Jose,
Something
man.
about me. I don't know. I guess ethic. I'm always on like 24/7. If I get into something, it has to be bomb, bomb, bomb. And so some people hate that because they want me to slow down a little bit and kind of smell the flowers, be with the family, blah blah blah. So I think that.
Okay, good one. What's your favorite smell?
Smell. It's gonna be weird because I really love cheesecake and I can smell it like a mile away, especially New York style cheesecake. So my favorite smell is New York style cheesecake. I know it's weird, but I really love
No,
that
that's
smell.
good. That's everyone has their thing. That's why I throw these questions out. I like to hear what people, I like to hear people's answers, bro.
For me, it would be some Mexican. That would be birria. It gives me
Okay.
memories from back in the day, and I still to this day
I
love
love
when that
birria.
thing is
All right. See.
birria is the best.
As much as I'm a ramen fan, I think the smell of pizza, and it does have to go through like with memories of back then when like the cousins would come and hang out and order pizza, birthday parties, pizza. You know, it was always a thing. Mainly Pizza Hut. That's like distinctively the smell of Pizza Hut.
Whoa, that's a good one. Speaking of, I like this. I had round table last night. So, but pizza's pizza's all right. It's all right. All right. An instrument you wish you could play.
For me, probably drums. I'd love to be like really proficient at drums.
Okay. I'm looking
Piano.
right at Juan.
Yeah, for me it would be drums as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex.
It'd be piano.
Piano. Okay. All right, man. All right. I'm going to give you guys a fun one here. On a scale of 1 to 5, how good of a dancer are you?
People that know me know this. I am a.
See, he's
I love
reading.
to dance. I actually do like.
Okay, you're freezing up. What's the scale?
I like.
He's freezing up, huh? You froze up, but it's okay.
It's frozen.
Yep.
Oh, for me, it was a. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So for me, people that know me, like my family, whoever, I love dancing. So I'll be a 10.
10
out of the scale.
Whoa, dude! You're the first person on my show that said a 10. I can't wait to see that, dude. I can't wait to see that, dude.
I love dancing, like from cumbias to like mostly. I mean, I'm Mexican. I grew up dancing all this stuff. At first, I used to hate it because my parents would make me do it on purpose. And then, like as I got older, you start dating and you go to whatever, you go to places. I love dancing. I like having a good time.
Wow, man. I can't wait to see that, dude. Next time I see you, I'm going to be all, hey, bro, let me see that 10. Let me see that 10, dude. Right now, dude. I want to see it right now.
You're going to fall in love, bro.
Well, I might learn a thing or two. You know what I mean? I'm a negative 10, bro. You know? How about you, Juan? Come on, Juan. Juan's probably like a 20, huh?
No, I'm a definite 0. You could never. It's rare for you to get me to dance. Nope, not gonna happen.
Alex.
0.
How about Alex?
I would say probably like a 2. I'm not like great at dancing, but I'll try my best. They all have stories of me trying to dance in Europe.
That's what I was gonna say. Alex might be a 2, but in effort, he's like a 30 because he will dance. Like that's for sure. Like it doesn't matter. Like if it's bad, he'll dance.
Well, okay.
That's
the last one before the bonus. What did you have for breakfast today?
A cup of coffee.
I just had black coffee. I haven't even eaten yet.
I had McDonald's.
Wow. Mickey D's. Okay, I'm going to give you a bonus question here. Juan, Macs or PCs?
PC definitely.
PC definitely. Jose, Marvel or DC?
Easy. Marvel.
Ooh.
Marvel. I'm trying to figure out with Alex here, man, because okay, I'll make this easy. Tube amps or processors?
Oh, tubes. Yeah, it's still you can't beat tubes, man.
Yeah. There you go. I was trying to figure out something for Alex, but I know Juan's like a computer geek, so I had to ask him Macs or PCs. You know what I mean? But PCs. This guy's. What is it about Marvel that you like? Is Silver Surfer on Marvel?
Yeah, Silver Surfer's Marvel. He's one of my big. There's nothing wrong with DC. I actually like a lot of this DC stuff. Even the actual animated stuff is a lot more grittier and more adult themed. So I like that stuff. But I have my heart. It's at Marvel just because that's what I grew up and introduced me to the comic book world. I'm a big Stan Lee fan. Jack Kirby. So it's all like that's my thing. So I still love DC. I don't have like I know people are like, you got to choose one, but to me, I love all of them. I like all kinds of other ones, Dark Horse comics. I dabble in different comic books. So, but Marvel has to be number 1 for me.
Cool. There you go. Everyone, guys, thank you for joining me on my stream. And before I let you go and before we say goodbye to everyone, I would like to let you guys, the floor is yours. If you want to tell the whole world, the whole viewers and everyone who's watching and listening where to find Bonded by Blood, it's your promo right now.
Cool. So there's Bonded by Blood official on Facebook, Bonded by Blood official on Instagram. We have a TikTok as well that Juan's gonna be start posting stuff on there. I don't know what he's gonna do, probably dancing, some PC stuff. So that's Bonded by Blood official as well. So everything is Bonded by Blood official everywhere you can find us. And I think Alex might be doing an OnlyFans. We don't know yet, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, OnlyFans. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there you have it, my guys in Bonded by Blood. Guys, thank you for coming. I really appreciate this talk. I wish you nothing but success, whatever success you're striving for. And hey, man, keep jamming. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys live. I can't wait. I cannot
Nice.
wait.
Thanks for
So-
having us, Ted.
Absolutely.
No, man. Thanks for coming on. It was fun talking to you guys and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick around when I'm shutting everything down. All right, everyone. That is live and streaming. Bonded by Blood, Alex, Juan, Jose. Go follow them on all socials and give them chat. Throw some comments in there. Tell Jose you want to see his dancing. Hire Juan to build you a PC. And if you got any guitar work that you need done, hit up Alex Lee. All right, everyone out there, have a good Saturday, and we'll see you next week.